Hello everyone, this is Rishabh Singh. I'm a legal intern at Lexis and Company, and today I'll be talking about Essential Commodities Act 2020. The Essential Commodities Act was brought in 1955 to stop the foodstuffs hoarding and black marketing. At a time when there is low production of food crops and nation was suffering from hunger and scarcity. At that time, the point came when we had to rely on imports and assistance, especially from other countries like the USA. Therefore, this act became the need of an hour to stop the hoarding of essential products such as oil cakes, onions, rice, and etc. to refill the demand of the citizens. The term essential commodity is defined under the section 2A of the Essential Commodities Act 1955, which means a commodity mentioned or specified in the schedule. Therefore, such seven commodities are specified in the schedule, which are drugs, fertilizers, foodstuffs including edible oils, hang yarn, petroleum and its products, jute, seed of fruits, vegetables, cattle fodder, and jute. So this act gives the power to center to add or remove the goods they want according to the demand and supply in the market. They can also control the demand, supply, production, and distribution, as well as the stock limit of the commodity declared essential. There are basically two primary aims of this act. First is to keep or increase the supply of these fundamental commodities, and the second is to secure impartial dispersion and accessibility of these essential commodities. So, under Section 3 of the Essential Commodities Act 1955, the subsection 1A was introduced. In this subsection, certain foodstuffs such as onions, cereals, pulses, potatoes, oils, and edible oil seeds are removed from the list, and now these items are not counted in the essential commodity list. The regulation of these foodstuffs can take place, but only in extraordinary circumstances. These extraordinary circumstances are war, famine, uh, natural calamity, or extraordinary price rise. These commodities were not mentioned under Section 3, and reasons for conjuring the section were not specified. Amendments, moreover, exempts certain foods value chain participants and exporters subject to the constraint ceiling. In the Act of 1955, the uh, clear framework to impose the stock limit is nowhere mentioned. The amendment came with the clauses of stock limiting where the circumstances are mentioned for the government to impose a stock limit. These circumstances are war, famine, natural calamity, and rise in extraordinary price, which is termed as price trigger. The stock limit portrayed with the charges, charge notices that the stock constraint should be forced on the crops as it were uh, in cases of cost rise up to 100% on agricultural products and 50% increment within the retail cost of non-perishable agricultural food products, where the increment will uh, will be calculated based on the cost patterns winning over the going before 12 months or the normal retail cost of the last 5 years. So this act was legalized at the time in 1955 when the country was suffering from scarcity, but now the situation has changed due to explosive growth in the export of agricultural products. The stock limit under the uh, stock limit relaxations under the ECA may lead to black marketing and hoarding, which will only benefit hoarders but not the farmers and the consumers. It is also said that the price triggers envisioned in the bill are unrealistic, and it may also lead rise in inflation and the monopoly of some individuals over the price of certain goods. According to the Economic Survey 2020, India now no longer faces food shortage issues. Also, the food grain production has expanded since 1950s, and India is presently an exporter, thereby giving this act a boost. What is disregarded in any case is the population of India increased to 1.3 billion in 2020 from 360 million in 951. The responsibility of ensuring food security to the masses cannot be shunned, as there are more mouths to nourish. The sights of migrants scraping for pieces of nourishment during the COVID 19 pandemic crisis continue to haunt. The overview said 76,000 raids were conducted in 2019 beneath the Essential Commodities Act to prevent violation of stock limits. Also, we cannot ignore that the Pulses scam where the prices are manipulated in 2015. Income tax department investigation found that several huge MNCs played a major role in seeking prices of pulses, spiking prices of pulses. Thus, the policies must ensure sustainable farm growth, taking into consideration factors like farmers' interests, climate change, consumer capacity, and land holdings. So, concluding that, according to my opinion, India needs agricultural reforms, as some statistics that say that roughly 60% of the Indian population works within the industry, contributing around 18% of India's GDP. So, this share diminishes steadily with with each year, with advancement in other regions of the country's economy. Therefore, we need to boost our agricultural sector by working on loopholes so that the farmers may attain the full benefit of this act. So, this is all about the topic. Thank you so much.